Alright lads, so less than 48 hours ago, we did get the reveal of the new end of year characters, a 1000-year Blood War Fullbringer Bankai Ichigo, a Bankai Senjumaru, and also Askin. And with that in mind, I asked you lads, what do you think about the new characters? How are we feeling about them? What do we like, what do we dislike, and that's what we're here to look at in today's video. Now, personally, I've already spoken about the characters quite a bit, but the quick TYBW on my opinion is that Ichigo is almost perfect. Absolutely love this character, and I thought his reveal in the trailer was super exciting. Senjumaru I'm also very excited about. The only nitpick I have with her as a character is the GQ specific skills. I don't like that. Would have loved if she had equally as good skills as Ichigo, because Ichigo is almost perfect. And then Askin, I mean, someone had to be the Brave Battle character, but I really do like what he offers in and outside of Brave Battle content. If you saw my prediction going over some of the contenders, these were characters I listed off, more so Ichigo and Senjumaru, but I never would have imagined Senjumaru and Ichigo to be put in the same banner. I was always saying that Senjumaru is an end-of-year worthy character, and that's clear by this banner, but I didn't think they'd be doing Season 1 and Season 2 characters, which maybe I should have expected considering that they did do that last year. But overall, I'm fairly happy with the new characters, so let's go ahead and see what you guys have to say. So first up, we have Freakazoid saying that we've never had such peak before. Jumped out of my chair at the Ichigo reveal. The banner is pretty solid. However, like the masses, the fillers are pretty bad. They are. And unfortunately, that's just one thing that sours this banner. You know, before like 2 or so years ago, whenever we had a very exciting banner like this, it would always be soured by the banner format. And now we are in a situation where we have good steps, right? 5-star every 5 steps, you get a guaranteed character of your choice in step 25, and that's why I know me and many others have 5,000 plus orbs saved for these characters, knowing we're going to get them. Like, no matter what, I was going to do 25 steps for this banner, and I still am, but it does suck knowing, like, there's less excitement about getting the other characters. And that's ultimately because the banner fillers just suck. Like 6 out of the 12 characters in this selection are super old characters, and that's really unfortunate. Tai is saying if Ichigo had the torn clothes, it would have been even crazier. That is so true. I've seen a few people did mention that. I believe in the Sobum animation, his clothes are a tad bit Ted, like what you would expect in the actual scene that it was animated from. And I think it's just a stylistic choice on Kayla's behalf. We don't really get characters that look beat up. I think one of the more prime examples is Roka. In the novel, when she uses Mugetsu, it is killing her. She's almost dying by using that attack, but then in BBS, it looks like she's all happy doing it. Is it censorship? Is it just a stylistic choice? I'm not really too sure. I think the only character that is visibly beat up is 1000-year Blood War Uryu, but you kind of have to because that's the whole point of his power, reflecting the damage he actually received. Big Unk is saying, all 3 units are insanely hyped to me. Ichigo's Fullbringer Bankai looks absolutely amazing with the Black Getter potential. Bankai Senjumaru is hype, and Askin is one of my favorite Stomata. Suck that he's a Brave Battle character, but core 3/4 will get a very good SP unit. Overall, 9 out of 10, best end of year for me personally. I might be there, honestly, with the end of year. Like, this is definitely... I'd have to, like, look at my own ranking, because I did rank it maybe, like, a year ago. I would probably put this, like, top 3, maybe? I'm not sure, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. Then we have Slayer Wick saying, honestly, it's a good banner. There is nothing wrong with the new characters. I extremely love the summon phrases they gave them. Senjumaru in particular, summon code's actually really funny with her just doing the rattle, rattle, thump, thump. I was kind of surprised that we didn't get Yamamoto, but I guess they're saving him for something even bigger. That's something true. Like, I, again, initially thought that maybe we weren't going to get Senjumaru, even though she deserved to be an end-of-year character, because there was no one else to pair her with. And I mean, I was kind of right. There was no one from Season 2 to pair with. That's why they went back to Season 1 and did Ichigo. And that's why I initially thought that we were going to get Ichigo and Bankai Yama, because they're 2 insanely popular characters that would make sense to be together in a banner. Now that we've gotten Ichigo but not Yama, they're clearly saving Yamamoto for another big celebration. Maybe, for all we know, it could be next year's anniversary. I mean, again, not like it's the first time this has happened, but they could make 2 core 3 characters and then throw in Yama as the 3rd hype character. And since we had the 10th anniversary logo already shown, I have already seen people speculate that it could be Shunsui, it could be Yamamoto, because there's maybe flames in the number. We're obviously grasping at straws here, but it's just something that, you know, that's worth mentioning. The only thing I don't like are the other featured units in this banner. Yeah, I think many people would agree with that. Monkey is saying, Senjumaru having all those status elements make me want to keep it at level 1 just so I can see all those elements at once. And that's kind of true, because, like, the thing with Senjumaru is that she's likely going to be one-shotting a lot. But that's also one of the things I am excited about with her, just being able to inflict all those status elements. It's new, it's different, I'm down for it. We have Rodri describing the characters with emotes. Ichigo in particular is the GOAT. We have guys saying it better than the 9th anniversary by a long shot. Just side that the filler characters are bad, and that's true. I would also agree. 9th anniversary is less hype than what we just got now. I'm not gonna lie. And it's kind of understandable, right? I liked the 9th anniversary, part 1 and part 2. I was very excited for Kenpachi and Gremmy, disregarding them being anniversary characters or not. And as much as we see it all the time whenever Ichigo gets a new character during a big celebration, there's a reason why these games do it, right? One Piece always does Luffy. Naruto games always do Naruto Sasuke. Dragon Ball games always do Vegeta and also Goku. And likewise with Bleach, we always get Ichigo. You always get the few people complaining about another Ichigo, but that is what is exciting, let's be honest. If we don't get an Ichigo in a banner, like the 9th anniversary, for example, you end up getting people saying, it's just side characters. Continuing on though, now it says W roster, very hyped for all 3, especially my boy Ichigo. Then we have Fenos saying, I feel like it is a random character selection, but they are one of the most detailed and visually stunning characters in the game. The character selection definitely is random. Again, I don't think anyone ever expected Ichigo and Senjumaru to be in the same banner, especially season 1 Ichigo. Senjumaru and Askin being together kind of makes sense. They both fight, not each other, but around the same time. It is from the final fight of season 2. But if we are looking for the most hype possible banner of the year, you kind of have to do a random selection of characters. Because again, like we mentioned, if we were getting Senjumaru for end of year, there was no other character that could have been accompanied with her that would have had the same amount of hype as a full-bring Bankai Ichigo. Maybe besides Yamamoto, but I would definitely say Ichigo is more exciting. White is saying, the Technique Lost Agent Ichigo used to be my favorite unit back in the day. I am overjoyed to see his full-bring Bankai in action. And I'm definitely the same. I think for a lot of us veterans, not even just specifically veterans, I think everyone's excited for Ichigo, but when it comes to us veterans that were playing the game when full-bring Ichigo came out, he was one of the most exciting character releases. He was absolutely broken. He was easily the best and most fun character in the entire game. And part of me is kind of glad that we've never had that character remade until now, because honestly, I don't think the character would have been nearly as exciting if we had not waited this long. And for him to get revealed the way he did, like the trailer was just so exciting, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while when it comes to character trailers too, that they build up the anticipation for a character reveal. Usually the trailers, the way they have been structured lately, is that they just cycle through the characters quickly. But Ichigo getting that slow build up of him screaming about everyone not to die, man, it just adds way more excitement for the character. And the fact that he is one of the best characters in the game make it all the better. Hubbock is saying that Senjumaru is looking great, Ichigo is epic, and Askin has Sharpshooter. So I'm going to use him outside of Brave Battles too when Extreme Carp does come back. And that again is something that you can do. We spoke about him yesterday and the day before. Askin for a Brave Battle character is very good. 33 and 50% bruiser everywhere is kind of crazy and unheard of for a normal attack damage character, especially one designed for Brave Battles. And hopefully with the Extreme Cup update that is planned next year, it's going to make playing Extreme Cup more fun and more worthwhile, because that will be an extra place you can then use Askin. Goro is saying, absolute peak. Saw the trailer and the intro for Ichigo and Bankai Senjumaru got me screaming. That itself is going to make me summon for them regardless of their skills or how powerful they are. I'm kind of in the same boat, but the fact that they are good makes it all the better. Anyway, great characters and great introduction. I actually predicted that it would be Bankai Senjumaru, which had been choking on water. Ultimate is then saying, great banner, and I know a lot of people are talking about the bad filler, but my Orihime is 2-5, Aizen is 2-5, Gremmy is 3-5, so it's a chance for me to get very good links. That's a decent way to look at it, to be fair, but, you know, at the same time, you know, counter argument, these characters that are fillers, like the bad ones people are annoyed at, you know, it's not like we're not getting 1,000 Jubado banners anymore. We're going to continue to get more. And those fillers that we don't want to be there will be in upcoming banners. Like, likely, sure, it's going to be nice to summon for those new characters, Ichigo, Senjumaru, and also Askin, and then getting those characters you do want. But there's also going to be plenty of opportunities to get them in the future. But yeah, a lot of the fillers are good links at the very least for anyone that is new. One decent way to look at it, right? Arrow is then saying, I really love the Ichigo, 10-10 design, and very good animations. Definitely going to summon, and Mummy Senjumaru was good too. All status elements on the game is quite funny. Jason says, absolute peak. I'm upset about Askin being a Brave Battle unit. However, out of all the 1,000 battle options for an end of year, I'd rather take Askin than another Bankai Yama or Uryu, which is kind of funny. I mean, Bankai Yama was never going to be the third character, right? Like, he's going to be a broken SP unit. At least one would hope so. And yeah, Askin's inclusion, I like it. I don't dislike it. You know, again, maybe it sucks that he's a Brave Battle character, but Askin in particular hasn't had a character in like 4 years, so I honestly don't mind it. And it was only until like this time last year when Orihime came out that Askin was in my Brave Battle team. Like, I unironically used him quite a bit. I also used 2 technique move sources on the character when he came out. So in a way, me personally, I don't mind the comeback for a 1,000-year Blood War Brave Battle Askin. I'm just hoping to get in and duplicates of him too, because I do want to use him in Brave Battles. He looks like a lot of fun. The banner is GOAT, it's peak. The fillers though are a war crime. And yeah, the fillers themselves is something that Yuha would start a 1,000-year Blood War for. A bizarre combination of characters. For one, we should have swapped the forms of Ichigo. We got this and last year. Maybe. Because last year, you know, obviously I was very excited for a Fullbring Ichigo. That's what I was expecting, and then we ended up getting a true Shikai, and maybe the true Shikai already after the fact that we got him during the 8th anniversary was a tad bit repetitive. So I maybe kind of agree with that. If we got Fullbring last year and then true Shikai this year, that would have been kind of cool. I'm, to be fair, fine with how it did turn out right now. But otherwise, they're all interesting and great visuals all around too. One day, my favorite Sturmritter won't be a Brave Battle unit, right? Obviously, talking about Askin. I mean, at this point, granted, we are going to have to wait a while. But with Askin getting 2 Brave Battle characters, one would hope his fight on Core 4, whenever that gets adapted in-game, is going to be a very powerful SP unit. I'm recording this also after the most recent finale. He does fight against Yoruichi, and Yoruichi is now going to get a new character, hopefully in 2025, the Raijin Senkei, but has Askin done enough to warrant a new character? Maybe? I don't know. Micro says peak, Ichigo's introduction, absolute cinema, I agree. This lad is saying double killers, new crazy Ichigo, Senjumaru's Bankai, the best Brave Battle unit, speed 2, new insane status summons plus, new strong attacks, everything is insane, except the fillers. There's only positive things to say, except the fillers. Big banner, fillers gave me a jump scare. Yeah, basically. Justice for Senjumaru, she deserved to be the best character. That's obviously something to criticize about Senjumaru, right? I think we're all going to agree with that. She deserved to be done. With Ichigo in the banner, how crazy he is, I would have loved for Senjumaru to have been given frenzy free everywhere too. I'm personally not going to be super annoyed with the way she turned out, like I did with Rukia, right? Rukia, for example, very similar to Senjumaru, was giving Guild Quest skills, but at least Senjumaru has something new about her. The stats to Element Plus, at least she has good strong attacks. That's something that Rukia did lack, unfortunately. Because I would also put Senjumaru and Rukia in the same pedestal, like characters that I'm super excited about. But even though Senjumaru got Guild Quest skills, I'm not nearly as disappointed as I was with how Rukia was treated, because Rukia is kind of just bad. Senjumaru, at least to me from the looks of it, seems like I can have a lot of fun with her outside of Guild Quest. Jesse is saying Ichigo would definitely be OP and very fun to play with. I'm really excited about Senjumaru, and I'm glad Caleb is exploring slightly different ways to make a character more powerful. With that being said, I don't love the GQ specific skills, just give her Frenzy plus 3. I'm glad Askin will be usable outside of Brave Battles too. Interesting that instead of blocking speed boosters, such as Ikaku, Askin is more so designed to make them redundant. We'll have to pull for him since he's a good all-around normal attack damage character like Nemu, and I do like good normal attack damage characters that I can play with manually. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, in terms of what Askin does offer, no one was surprised that he was a speed character with team boost. That was probably like the most expected outcome, especially one with the persistence skill. I also did expect him to have a block attack. That way, if you didn't have Askin, you're just guaranteed the stat advantage, at least when you go against an Askin-less team. And I thought maybe they were going to go crazy and introduce ignore persistence, but I'm glad they didn't go down that route. But likely very soon we might get ignore persistence. I don't know. It's only a matter of time, right? Surely. Xander is saying, I love this Ichigo. Been waiting for a new version in for years, especially this moment. So him not getting a character until now is crazy to me, but I'm hyped. And you know what? I think that was always the plan, right? At least when it came to 1000 Year Blood War, Bankai Ichigo, Fullbring. We skipped over it. It's the same with Yamamoto. Granted, it's different because Yamamoto has gotten new characters, manga ones in particular. But I was always saying that they skipped over Bankai Yama and also Fullbring Bankai to do it when the timing is right. And it felt like the timing was right now. Manek is saying all in 25 steps. As an Ichigo fanboy, I couldn't be happier. Super excited for a new Fullbring Bankai Ichigo, especially with his new visuals. This is a good setup to ensure my boy Askin will not be a victim of being a Brave Battle character anymore in future banners. One more job, right? Imagine we actually did get the new Askin from Core 4 and he was a Brave Battle character. Man, that would be heartbreaking. But surely not. Seriously, the best end of year. I can feel okay, that's crazy. Shine just saying, as far as the 3 new characters are concerned, absolutely brilliant. Askin, Brave Battle unit, not restricted at that. Flight plus 3 and 50% bruiser. Senjumaru, an experiment gone right perhaps. Similar to Oetsu with no stat elements, she can stack upwards to 4 and 5. The Guild Quest skills are meh, but the character makes up for it, and come on, it's Bankai Senjumaru. Ichigo, do I need to say anything? I think a lot of people would say, like, there's nothing to criticize with Ichigo. This character's almost perfect. Like, it's absolutely crazy. As a new player, personally, I've got no beef with the fillers, so it's a win-win for me. The only character I don't want to see is probably the normal attack damage Oetsu. Which, oh, you already have him 5-5, which is fair, yeah. I was going to say, if you don't have Oetsu 5-5, honestly, I got a use out of him in Guild Quest of him being max transcended. So Oetsu is honestly not a bad character to get dupes of, assuming you already get... assuming you don't have him 5'5". But this lad might go 50 steps. That is absolutely crazy. Personally, I would not recommend it. I did 50 steps last year. I regret it. 25 steps hopefully should be enough for you, right? Meta, breaking, and insane artwork / designs. I love the shrine attacks in all three. It's all clean. Low-key, can't wait to summon. Speaking of, maybe I should have mentioned at the start of the video, I do have one big nitpick about a particular character, and that is Askin. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure who's at fault here, whether it's Caleb or the Period team themselves, but in Askin's gameplay, he does have a green acidic attack, especially on the SA3 and I believe on his normal attacks, and unfortunately, it's the wrong color. It shouldn't be green, it should be purple like it was in the anime. However, in the anime, it was green when it first aired. They then corrected it in the Blu-ray, so at least it seems like when Caleb are designing characters, they aren't using the Blu-ray designs, they're using instead the anime designs from the initial airing. So that's something that's kind of unfortunate, but I guess if you never watch the Blu-rays, you're never going to notice that. Is it even that big of a deal? I'm not too sure, but I would have preferred if Askin's attacks were purple instead of green. At least the, poison effects. Jesus is saying, cool units. Happy Senjumaru got a new character with her Bankai and doesn't share the same attribute as her other unit. So I could choose the other still. And that's one thing to keep in mind with Senjumaru as well. She is the first Squad Zero character that is a power character, which is kind of crazy to think that it's taken like 4 years for us to finally get a power Squad Zero character. Continuing though, cool that Askin got another unit. Sad that it's Brave Battles, and I know he's the main character, but I'm sick of Ichigo. I am unfortunate with Ichigo, that's just something you have to deal with, right? If we didn't get an Ichigo in this banner, honestly, the banner would not be nearly as exciting. Cap is saying peak, but one comment. This is maybe just me, but imagine if Ichigo's Soul Reaper outfit was torn. It would have made the end pose and his art look so cold, but I'm still so hyped nonetheless. You don't seem to be alone in that. I think a lot of people would have preferred if he had the torn clothes, but definitely not a deal breaker for a lot of us. Was asking for this when episode 1 released. Senju cold, Askin also cold. Seiji is saying, holy peak, and my goat is back. Literally predicted / wanted this Ichigo when talking about it to one of my friends after the 9th anniversary, especially with that exact soul bomb, and he looks even better than I could have ever imagined. And the soul bomb is crazy. I'm not sure what I was expecting from the soul bomb. I think initially I wanted the getter potential that he did in episode 1 against the Hollows. That would have also been cool, but I think I do prefer this soul bomb. The rage effect, I love that they included that part, especially with his E attack too. With him getting the rage aura, man, it's just so sick. And it seems like this lad is also saying the same thing. Would have loved if they did the getter potential from episode 1, but he's been saving for 2 months, going all in. Kaya is saying, re-downloaded the game after a few years about 3 weeks ago for Daddy Ichigo's resurrection, and I'm amazed at the huge increase in both production quality and quality of life. I'm hooked again, and after this end of year, I think I'll stay until end of service. My weakest elements so far are heart and power, and Askin is my boy. Will go 50 steps if needed. Absolutely crazy. Elite is saying, really hyped, was disappointed with the skills, but I guess that was momentary, and now the hype is coming back. Best banner ever. Tao Queen is saying, I mean, they're great units, but the character choice is so random that I don't really have much interest in it. And again, like we said, the character choice is random. It definitely is, but at the same time, it's random, but best case scenario. Like, yes, maybe it would have made more sense to not have Ichigo, instead have Lige, Gerard, or Pineda, but that wouldn't have been nearly as exciting. I guess they could have maybe stuck to season 1 instead of Senjumaru, we would have gotten Yama. And instead of Askin, we could have gotten someone else like Kyoge. That was my initial prediction. And that would have been maybe an equally as exciting banner. That would have made more sense. But I think Senjumaru being here over Yama is probably better because it's more new. Even though I'm super excited for Bankai Yamamoto, we have technically gotten past Bankai Yama, so it wouldn't entirely be new. Senjumaru is new, so I'm excited for it. Momo though is saying all in, Ichigo might be the best character in the game, and super happy with Senjumaru and Askin that they are viable outside and inside of Guild Quest / Brave Battles. Senju's status element stacking could be really fun in something like Limit Breaker potentially, and the fillers are straight ass, though they still do need Rengiku. This night saying a very hype main unit. Ichigo is someone that I've been waiting for since he was shown in the anime. Senjumaru was bound to get an end of year character after a Bankai introduction. Yeah, a lot of us did expect that. And then Askin's choice is a bit weird, but I was pleasantly surprised at the skills and him taking the blow of being the Brave Battle character. One gripe, of course, is the 2018 to 2019 fillers. Rangiku and Toshiro are probably the worst 2024 thousand Jibaro units they could have chosen. That's likely why they were put as fillers like so early in advance. Although to give Toshiro credit, he has gotten better thanks to the Guild Quest update. Again, I was not cutting that character any slack. When he got released, I was trashing on him, but now I think he has a place. And yes, the fillers should have included last year's end of year characters. Sangdu would have been amazing to be in this banner. I personally do not own him. And then Ishimasaki being there, that would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. WWE is saying, in your stream, I saw a lot of people upset, mainly because Askin was in the banner, but I think the character selection and their kits are great. The only problem with this banner is Senjumaru's GQ skills. Even though I wish Askin was an SP unit instead of a Brave Battle, I think it's fine because how good they made him as a normal attack damage character. One is saying this is my favorite form of Ichigo, wasn't really interested on every version of him that came out before, but this one takes the cake. I think a lot of people just have like a soft spot for Fullbring Bankai, and it's like one of those forms in the anime and manga that is really not here for long. Like he fights Kugo in this form, and that's only like one episode, and then going into 1000 Year Blood War, I mean, as far as the episodes are concerned, he's only in this form for like 7-8 episodes. After that, he unlocks his true Shikai. So it is one of those forms that is like the most short-lived, but man, does it just look so cool. With that said though, like always, I think a lot of people have the same opinion. A lot of people are excited for these new characters, are very happy with the character choicing, even though to some it's a bit random, still exciting nonetheless. The characters are great, the fillers are bad, but let's maybe look at some controversial comments. Now, Light does have a lot to say here, so let's go ahead and read what they have to say. So I don't like negativity and complaining for the sake of it, but here's my take on some of the end of year characters. Senjumaru is the only prize in this banner. She deserves complete status immunity and launcher at the very least. She is the one who designed the Oaken Clothes, which granted the best defensive abilities the Sorbus could ever have wished for. Making Senjumaru a GQ character is a crime. Who even cares about GQ, for God's sake? I mean, to be fair, GQ is the main game modes. That's why we have been getting so many characters for this game mode. It's one of the few game modes that is consistent, that offers a wide range of characters that you can use. There's competition, and it also offers a large amount of orbs. Like, you can get upwards to 1,000 orbs from GQ in any month now. Up to. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. So a lot of us still care about GQ, and that's why we have been getting a lot of GQ characters. Having said that, even though a lot of us do care about Guild Quest, even us still don't want characters designed for GQ. Like, it's okay, like Ichigo, to make a character overall just good everywhere else, that's also still good in GQ. And Senjumaru, I agree, like many, shouldn't have had GQ skills. If they just gave her Frenzy free and then more damage to stat-affected enemies, she would have been better in and outside of Guild Quest. And overall, even though a lot of us are still excited for her, we would have been more happy. Ichigo is whatever. We have too many Ichigos in this game, and it's getting diabolical and less than any hype that main characters usually have. I disagree, and to be fair, like we did mention, one of the main reasons why I expected Fullbring Bankai for this end of year is that we're not going to now get a 1000 Year Blood War Ichigo for quite some time. Like, there's nothing else they can do. Core 3, I mean, it's still just True Shika. He hasn't done anything entirely new. Having said that, they could probably still make the character. I guess they could give him the clothes that Senjumaru made for him. That would make him somewhat different. But in the year 2025, I definitely am expecting more remakes of Ichigo, like 5th Anniversary and also Full Hollow, and maybe less 1000 Year Blood War Ichigos. So this one that we are getting right now might have to carry 1000 Year Blood War Ichigos for like the next year. Only time will tell though. Also, Ichigo and Kenpachi have the worst EX attack in the entire game, in their opinion. It merely lasts only about 10 seconds. Who needs a boost when you already deal so much damage to begin with? He's the second best hard character behind Byakuya, although they are Byakuya fans, so they are biased. That's fair. The EX attack for me, I think it's one of the better ones. Him and Gremmy's, Kenpachi and Gremmy's more so. That's why, funny enough, we are seeing it return on both Ichigo and also Senjumaru. It really depends on what you are playing, but the EX attack that Ichigo and Kenpachi have make a big difference in Guild Quest and Limit Breaker. Yes, it only lasts 10 seconds, but in those game modes, you can do a lot for those 10 seconds. Like some of the stuff that we saw Kenpachi do in Guild Quest be used in the Range Espada Guild Quest, be used in the Aranka Guild Quest, is mainly thanks to that EX attack. It gives him crazy damage output. Obviously, this is all subjective, but I would heavily disagree with the EX attack being bad. Compared to some of the other characters that just do an attack that doesn't even do that much damage, like we've seen some basic EX attacks that just only provide small damage. For Ichigo and Kenpachi though, if they have the 80% SP boost already applied, that's like a 360% spiritual pressure boost. On top of the damage output and skills they have, is absolutely crazy. Askin is whatever. Characters like him, Gerard, Renji, Sergeant, and several other characters can be PvP characters forever. That's crazy. He's a great character for Brave Battles though, and to be fair, the entire community should maybe send some constant criticism to K-Lab that they need to stop making GQ and Brave Battle-centered characters. The thing is, right, we have... Like, I feel like at this point, we've been all quite vocal. No one likes GQ-specific skills. And as far as Brave Battle characters are concerned, at this point, like, these have been consistent every like 3 to 4 months, especially during end of year and anniversary, since the 2nd or 3rd anniversary. The game's about to be 10 years old. Like, no matter what we've said in the past or what we say now as far as Brave Battle characters are concerned, they're never not going to stop. While I am hoping in 2025 we move away from GQ skills, Brave Battle characters at this point are kind of just like a necessary evil. We've complained about it for years when they first started doing them, and they're still here like 6 years later. This end of year banner is a 6 out of 10 for me. It would have been an 8 or 9 out of 10, despite the fillers being trash, if both Senjumaru and Ichigo got the same investment or treatment that Ichigo and Yuha had in the previous end of year. I would say Ichigo got better treatment this year than, so I'm not sure what you mean by Ichigo. Because I'd say this Ichigo got the similar treatment to how Yuha and Ichigo were treated last year. I mean, you know, one of the special things about Yuha was the double sword bomb that now him and the new Ichigo have. So that's something special that the new Fullbring Bankai Ichigo did get. And I agree with Senjumaru, for an end of year character, it is a bit ridiculous to see the Guild Quest skills. Would have much preferred if she had, you know, Frenzy Free everywhere. But heavily disagree on Ichigo not having the same treatment compared to last year's Ichigo and Yuha. But either way, great insight from Light. Like always with these community reactions, we do like to see different opinions. So maybe let's continue to scroll down and see some other potential comments that maybe are going against the popular opinion. So I'm scrolling down. This one I do want to talk about because it is funny to think about. Winora says, I was hyped about it until I saw the attribute for Ichigo, another heart Ichigo. That is something that is kind of funny. We had 4,000 TYBW Ichigos released in the last like 2 or so years, and 3 of the 4 have been hard characters, which is kind of funny to think about. True Shikai, this new Ichigo, and then Fullbring Shikai Ichigo that came out during episode 1 of 1000 Year Blood War are all heart characters, with the exception of the 8th anniversary Ichigo, who is a power character. I mean, for me, the attribute doesn't matter all too much, to be fair. Well, I guess now you can make a 1000 Year Blood War anime Ichigo team that are all just heart characters. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. This comment stood out to me. All I want is a new Tokinara that is perfect character for status element plus, and you're honestly not wrong. One of the things for those that haven't actually used Tokinara is that one, he can transform, but when he does transform, he uses the powers from other storybooks. So he can freeze, he can burn, he can weaken. And I know many people, again myself included, have been wanting a new Tokinara, just new Confield characters in general, to be honest. Remakes more so. And similar to Senjumaru, I would love to see a new Tokinara that maybe doesn't transform, that stays in this state where he has everyone's powers and has all those data zoomers. That'd be really fun. Especially if once Senjumaru does come out and this whole new gimmick of having multiple status elements is actually really good at meta. Maybe it won't be, I don't know, but it looks fun. If it is good, then that might be more reason for us to hopefully get a Tokinara that can inflict a lot of different status elements. Sakinari says Senjumaru is missing the Liege room / tapestry and Uryu's. That's something I didn't realize until I actually saw his comment. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I think we'll get a second version of her when she uses other attacks, her traveling through different clothes, for example, the hollows that she does against Uryu in Core 3. So yeah, more so the stuff that happens in Core 3. And I believe they do mention the umbrella Senjumaru that she does use against Uryu, I believe, right before she activates her Bankai. Yeah, if they really wanted to, they could do another Bankai Senjumaru. You're not the only person to say that. I think there have been a few people saying that too, even before this character came out. So maybe, we'll have to see how it does go. And because of this, honestly, especially after episode 1 of season 3, I was honestly questioning maybe they would hold out on Bankai Senjumaru and release her alongside the Uri that she does fight in Core 3. Xavier says, as much as I like Askin, he just doesn't seem like end of year material. Definitely end of month, just not really something for as big as this. Like, out of all the Stunrunners to fight Squad Zero, why did they pick him? Uryu, Yugrim would have made more sense, and if not them as a base, those standing from Gerard and Pineda would have been much cooler in my opinion. I would say, personally, maybe I'm biased. Is Askin not the most popular of the 4 Elite Squad members? Like, obviously, as BBS players, we might be more excited for Pineda and Gerard because they aren't in-game just yet. But isn't Askin, like, universally loved? So maybe that's why they picked him. He's just more popular than the other 2, or 3 in particular. Uryu and Yugrim being Brave Battle characters, I don't know. To be fair, that 3rd character slot was always going to be the Brave Battle character. And yeah, it could have been Uryu, it could have been Yugrim, it could have been Gerard Pineda, could have even been Liege. For me, I'm kind of okay with it, because they are the Brave Battle character. I'm not too fussed about the character choice. Had it been any of the other characters, my opinion on the banner would have almost been the exact same. Scrolling down, this lad says Senjumaru got the rookie treatment. Disappointing. I disagree. I get if you look at like just the skills, they both sure only have Guild Quest skills, but it's going to be a 9-day difference when you play with the character. Again, Rukia wasn't bad because she had Guild Quest skills. Obviously, that was one big thing. Likewise with Senjumaru. But Rukia was made worse because she didn't have an EX attack. Senjumaru does and has one of the better ones in the game. Rukia had a team boost SA2 when she did not need it. And because of that, it took up 2 of her skills. She had to be given booster. She had to be given enhancer. And that made over her strong attack damage worse. It made her gameplay worse, especially when you throw in the fact that she had a kind of a bad SA1. So yeah, sure. If you want to just look at Senjumaru getting the Rukia treatment in terms of Guild Quest skills, sure. You're not entirely wrong. But overall, Rukia, disappointing. Like, she brought nothing new. She could have been better. She should have been better. And there was just more things bad about her besides the Guild Quest stuff. With Senjumaru, the only bad thing about her is the Guild Quest skills, but at least she has other stuff to make up for it. Continue to scroll down again. We're trying to look at some potential hot takes. This lad says, why on earth are we getting a third Senjumaru? It could have literally been anyone else. Why Askin and why her? Like, it could have been Mask, for example, or someone who didn't have a unit yet. Remember, right? Because I've seen this go around the last couple days. This is an end of year banner, right? You have to have exciting characters. And anytime someone says, why was it Ichigo? Why was it Senjumaru? And then proceed to name off a character that would not be nearly as exciting. Not trying to throw any shade, right? I love Mask, clearly. And it sucks that his character was a GQ character. A normal attack damage one at that. But hypothetically, if we did throw out Senjumaru and we got Mask instead, a base for Mask for end of year? Like, that makes no sense. And they do proceed to say here that they could have given us a new Uryu Volstanic unit that was shown in the anime. But remember, that was true for anyone that thought we could have gotten a Season 3 character. If they could have done it, they would have done it. It's too early for Season 3. Volstanic Uryu was never on the table. Likewise with any character from Season 3, that was just never going to happen. So when you look at the leftover characters from Core 1 and Core 2, and you think about the most exciting, hype possible characters, realistically, it was only Bankai Senjumaru, Bankai Ichigo, and Bankai Yamamoto. And maybe Volstanic S not, but maybe that would have been even more random. And again, you're not the only person saying this about getting a third Senjumaru. I really don't see the point highlighting how many characters they've gotten in the past. Our first initial Senjumaru came out like 5 years ago, so why are we even talking about her? And sure, we did get a new Senjumaru last year. She's a farming character, so they're used for different reasons, and also, it's base Senjumaru. This is Bankai Senjumaru. Bankai Senjumaru was going to happen. So what if we had a normal Senjumaru last year? That like has no relevance whatsoever, at least to me, in terms of hype characters. And for characters that don't have characters in game just yet, again, for Season 2, that's basically just the elite squads, like Gerard and Pineda. Who, yeah, cool, would have been exciting, but not for end of year. As an SP mainstay hype unit, you know? Masters has said it's been a year and a half since good 1,000 Senjumaru characters started to release, and the fillers should be much better than this. This is ridiculous. You're not wrong. You're right. Again, one of the good things we've been saying about all these 1,000 Jibota banners is that it should, hopefully, make 1,000 Jibota banners better in the future, because now there's more characters to be put as fillers. And that's true. You know, this time next year, we should only be getting 2020 plus characters as fillers in 1,000 Jibota banners. More so 2023 plus. But that ultimately still comes down to Caleb, right? So we made it to the bottom of the comments. These could just be new ones. Maybe they were downfit, not entirely sure. This person says, big disappointment. We need a range captain killer and not a melee one, as Yachiri works just fine. That's true. Maybe Senjumaru would have been better off being a range captain killer. Melee Quincy is also not needed, as a 1-5 Ishin will claim Nightmare just fine. That's also true, but at the same time, GQ doesn't only need one character to be good in. Like, it's better to have multiple options. And as far as melee Quincy killers do go, like we almost did quarters months ago, yeah, Ishin is fine, but Ishin's not a traditional Guild Quest character. That kind of makes sense. He does like an increased chance against all enemies. Ichigo has that. And yeah, Ishin, if your idea is just to clear Nightmare GQ, Ishin is great. Like, Ishin's an amazing character, don't get me wrong. But Ichigo is going to be better. But if you're only looking for Guild Quest characters that make a bigger difference, maybe their killer and melee choices are disappointing. I mean, at this point in time, there's not that many Guild Quest phases that need new characters. I think one of the ones you did point out, Range Captain Killer, is one of them though. Kage Killer says, not that interesting. Espada says, easy skipped. And then, Gaslight says, extremely corny and genuinely awful character choices. I'm so sick of these lazy anime scenes recreation specials. If I wanted to see an anime scene, I just go watch the anime. I want more original soul bombs, and I want original concepts from this game. You're not the only one, to be fair, that has been saying that, but it really comes down to what you want. For me personally, and this isn't even just BBS2, right? This is Rebirth of Souls. I want games to replicate the anime scenes. I don't see the point of doing something original when you're trying to replicate that character from a certain scene. So personally, I love that someone's replicating the anime scenes. And that also just goes for other games too. I think one of the big things for me about Dokkan, I don't even play Dokkan, right? But I absolutely love watching their special animations because they are able to replicate the anime style. And in some cases, maybe even make it look better. And I think most anime games go for that too. I think it's just what more people want, to be fair. That said though, they're also sick of Senjumaru. She just got a crazy good unit a year ago and still holds up as a top tier character. Why not give some love to other characters? Fullbring Ichigo is really good. Askin choice is fine, but not high for me. That's fair. But again, like we said earlier in this video, other than Senjumaru, who could they have done? Like, if it weren't Senjumaru, it was going to be Bankai Yamamoto. Like, there really wasn't that many characters they could have done. If you're just trying to look at it from an objective point of view, what's going to make the most money, what's going to sell the most hype, even if not for everyone, right? Clearly, some people aren't excited for this banner. Most people are, though. Senjumaru being here with Ichigo just made sense. And to be fair, I did say this last year. I don't like the Season 2 banners we did get last year. The Ichigo, Yuha, the Senjumaru, Kiryu, and Ichibi. I really feel like they should have just focused on Season 1 at the time and then done those Season 2 characters. So I don't have a problem with Senjumaru happening now, her Bankai character. I more so have a problem with the Senjumaru that we got last year. I feel like they shouldn't have done that, and maybe now we're seeing why they shouldn't have done that, because some people don't like the fact that Senjumaru got another character because she just got one last year. But even then, like, again, she's a farming character, right? Like, I'm not using Senjumaru in Guild Quest. This character, I am going to use in Guild Quest, the Bankai one. If I want to take it into Arena, she has more better Arena skills. I'm going to use it in Arena. So even though it is our second Senjumaru, they are being used for different things. So to me, not really much of a problem, but I can see where you're coming from. Overpowered BBS saying Senjumaru is lame. Starting Ditch Ori would have been cooler. Again, too early for Oryu. Likely that's going to happen during the 10th anniversary. One Pure Blood is saying Ichigo is cool. Don't like Senjumaru Askin. And in this character's cool. Senjumaru is good, but not end of year level in skills. Fillers kind of killed this banner. And yeah, for an end of year character, again, like we said multiple times in this video, Senjumaru should have been given friendly free everywhere. So with that said, we've been recording for almost an hour. Hopefully we can edit this down to like 40 or so minutes. That seems to be the community reaction. It seems like majority of the community is very happy with the character choicing and how the characters have turned out. For me, this is one of the most exciting banners of the entire year. I love all three characters, even though, again, I do have some nitpicks. Senjumaru, I would have preferred not having Guild Quest skills, and then Askin, I would have preferred if he had the purple puddles instead of the green ones. Fillers are whack, and that sucks. But other than that, I'm super excited for this banner, and it seems like majority of lads are too. Some people don't like the character choicing. They would have preferred other characters. Maybe the character randomness kills the banner for you. There are definitely things to criticize, but at the same time, I think majority of people are happy with how it did turn out. And there's more good things to say about the new characters than bad at the very least. No banner is perfect, but this one, I feel like it's damn close. Either way though, I'm excited for these characters, and I'm excited for the upcoming characters too, right? Like a lot of comments said, they would have rather a Season 3 character. That's coming out next year, so I'm very curious to see now who the next end of year characters are going to be, because last year, when I saw Bankai Senjumaru, I was saying, it's going to be Bankai Senjumaru for end of year, and lo and behold, that did happen. Now though, for Core 3, I'm not sure who they're going to do for end of year. Are they going to hold out Bankai Shunsui? Surely not. Surely they're not going to hold out Uryu's Vote Standard, right? I'm really not sure at this point who the next end of year characters are going to be. But either way, I'm excited for it nonetheless. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.